never been so sure of anything before. Just like I'm in this moment, but was alone would be enough. Just take my hands and take my ring, 'cause I will always love you through anything I'll do. To talk back on different segment, for the engaging about story. Tope Oginni, let's talk about love. Let's talk about God. Let's talk about all you need to know before you say I do.
Good day, and you are welcome to another exciting episode of Before You Say I Do on Glorious Vision Television of the Apostolic Church Nigeria. My name is Tope Oginni. Before You Say I Do is a program designed for the singles, for those who are already in a relationship, you are in your courtship stage, you are engaged already, or you hope to be married someday, as long as you have not said I do. And whichever category that you may find yourself, Before You Say I Do is a program designed for the singles, and it's a must watch for all singles out there. Here we educate, we enlighten, we give you information, we equip you, we prepare you on all what you need to know about marriage, about relationship, about yourself, about your partner, and the marital journey that you are about to embark upon. We do this with practical illustrations, experiences, with biblical truths to support whatever we are teaching, so that you can understand what we are saying. Sometimes we come on this program, we bring various guests, various counselors to come and address different relationship topics that will help you in your marital journey. And we always advise our singles as well to always send in their question. If you're out there and you desire to have a godly relationship, you desire to have a godly home, peaceful home, healthy relationship, this is a program that you must watch. Or you are even at a confused stage right now, you don't even know what to do about your relationship, you're about giving up, or you're about saying that you don't want to have any relationship again because of some bad relationships that you have entered into. We advise you that you can write in, you can ask for counseling, you can ask for prayers, you can ask your question on your relationships, and we'll be here to answer. We also have different segments too, where we offer our recommended books, where we have our Ask Tope Oginni, where you can ask your relationship questions. Also, we have our relationship tips, where we offer useful relationship tips that will help you to have a healthy relationship with your partner. This is what we do on Before You Say I Do. So if you are just tuning in, you are welcome on board. For our regular viewers, they already know what we do. And once again, I want to thank our regular viewers. I want to thank you for your feedbacks, your comments, for watching Before You Say I Do, and for making your recommendations to other people. God will bless you. And I pray that even as you are watching this program, it will be helpful to you, and you'll be able to, God will give you the grace to apply them into your own marital life in Jesus' name. So thank you. I want to go on this short break. When I return, don't go anywhere, because the program is just starting. Thank you for tuning in. It is still Before You Say I Do on Glorious Vision Television, and my name is Tope Oginni. And Before You Say I Do is a relationship program designed for every single out there. As long as you have not said I do, it's a program that you must watch, and it is just to educate you, to inform you, to equip you, to prepare you, so that you will know actually what you are getting into about marriage. We talk about marriage here, we talk about relationships here, we talk about anything that has to do with you and your partner. This is what we talk on Before You Say I Do. Yes, welcome again to today's episode, and as usual, like every other day, we have an interesting topic again that I want us to look at. And and I'm sure that it's going to be very helpful to you. It's going to be very helpful to you. It's going to be useful to you in the areas of your relationship and in this marital journey that you are back to embark upon. And it is what I titled wrong or faulty relationship foundation for marriage. Wrong or faulty relationship foundation for marriage. The Bible says that if the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? If the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? There are so many foundations, marital foundations that has been destroyed. There are so many faulty marital foundations that people are building ignorantly for their marital life, for their marriages, and they don't even know that it is wrong. We have so many people that are married today and they are having this problem, they're having this challenge, not knowing that it was as a result of the faulty foundation they builded years ago for their relationship that has come to take its course in their marriage. So today we want to look at wrong, you can say faulty relationship foundation. We want to look at some wrong and faulty relationship foundation singles out there are building for their future marriage, and that we know that it can be problematic for your marriages in the future. So for you to, it is like I said, that this program is to educate. So we want to educate you. We want to inform you about those challenges so that you can know them now and begin to address them before it leads to your marriage. You may be in your relationship right now. You may be in a relationship. You may be in your courtship. You may be at the point of your courtship right now. You are engaged. Yes, he has proposed. You have said yes. You have prayed. God has showed you. But there are some things that you need to address before you properly go into that marriage. Because if you don't do it, it is definitely going to hold legal ground. There are so many marriages that are crying. There are so many couples that are crying today that if I had known all of these things, when I was into it, I didn't take it as a serious thing. I never knew that it's going to have an effect in the future, in my future marriage. And that's why I ignored them, or that's why I did them, that's why I was doing them. So that's why we said. So it is the foundation of every build. We all know how important foundation is to have a solid building, to have a good building that will last forever, that will last the test of time. You have to consider the foundation. The Bible says if the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? If you don't consider the foundation of anything that you want to do, the foundation will determine to what extent your building will stand or keep standing. It will also determine the extent to which your relationship will stand or keep standing, even to your marriage level. So the foundation of a marital relationship determines the durability and the success of such relationship. Today, marriages collapses for various reasons, such as faulty foundation. One of them is faulty foundation. You know, marriages collapses for various reasons, but one of those reasons is faulty foundation that we are talking about on this program. Now, however, research has shown that every marriage is as a result of faulty foundation in them. From research, it has been shown that every marriage has a seed and an element of a faulty foundation. Now, when we are talking about faulty foundation, there's so many of them that when I begin to mention them, you begin to know which you fall into. Or even you are married and you are watching me, you know that this thing I am talking about, it is really true. It is actually affecting your own marriage. But you that you are single, please, it's not something that you should joke with. Marriage is a serious matter, and it is not something that anybody should joke with. Like some people will want to get married because their friends are getting married, or because they want to answer that Mrs., or because they just feel that they are of age. You know, we've mentioned so many reasons here, both the wrong reasons and the right reasons why people go into marriage. And we have talked so much about the wrong reasons and its effects and its consequences on your relationship and your future marriage. So when you are getting married, you must have a good reason why you want to go into marriage. You must consider that marriage is not a joke. It's not for boys and girls. It is for men and women, matured men and matured women, because there are some things that you will meet, there are some challenges that you will face in that marriage, that if you are not matured enough, if you are not a matured man or matured woman, your marriage will collapse. You will run away, that this is too much for me. I don't think I can bear this. And when it gets to that point that you begin to say you can't bear it, then what happens? Then your marriage is just at the edge of divorce or separation, or everybody going his or her way. So if you are among those who believe that courtship is not necessary, you are just deceiving yourself. Many people will say, I don't believe in courtship. I want to study. That you can't even finish studying somebody. It is true. It cannot even be done in a 1 year courtship, which is true, because there are so many things even after courtship, and after courtship when you get into marriage that you begin to see, probably because that person hides that aspect of his or her life, or because he or she just chose to not to take it as something that their partner should be aware of. So courtship is very, very, very important, and it's not something that you should just take with all unseriousness, that it doesn't matter, why should I take a whole year in studying somebody, and at the end, but it's still good, because if you are serious with yourself, if you are Christians, genuine believers, that you are serious with yourself, and you claim to love yourselves, like you said to one another, like you profess to one another, if the love is genuine, you know that your courtship is very, very important. It gives you the opportunity to get to know each other. It gives you the opportunity to talk about a whole lot of things that ordinarily, even in marriage, you may not have time. The opportunity may not come for you. And even when the opportunity arises in your marriage, it may be too late for you to opt out, because you're already married. And you know that God hates divorce. So because of that, now you have no choice. As a Christian, as a believer, you begin to say you continue to endure till Jesus Christ tarry. So for that not to happen, now, if couples who had premarital courtship still have to trust God's grace and assistance for success in marriage, I don't know how a male and female adult that met face to face for the first time on their wedding day can live together happily after their marriage. Now, marriage is meant to last till death of either of the partners. It is a lifetime relationship between the husband and wife. Hence, it requires a strong and solid foundation. It requires a strong and solid, like I said, that if you must build a house, you must consider the foundation. The foundation is very, 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 very important. If you don't do that, your house or your building will not stand the test of time, and it will not last forever. Same thing applies to marriage. So if you don't consider that foundation and how to build a right foundation for your relationship that will extend to marriage, then there may be problems awaiting you in the future. It's not a cause. So the very cause and basis of marriage, which is love and commitment, are shunned. They are shunned. People shunned this area, love and commitment. People always shun this area. Now let's look at the definition of faulty foundation. What is faulty foundation? First of all, let's look at the meaning of faulty and foundation. Faulty is an unattractive or unsatisfactory feature, while the foundation is the lowest load-bearing part of a building, typically below ground level, and also the basics which something is being built. Now, in other words, faulty foundation can be defined as when there is an irregularity at the lowest bearings of one's life, or when there is an enormous mistake linking from one background. This is taken from a Christian dictionary. Now, quickly let us look at the reasons for wrong and faulty relationship. Reasons for wrong and faulty relationship. Now, if If a premarital relationship involving sexual intercourse has a faulty foundation, then there's problem. Then there is problem. Now let's quickly look at some of examples of wrong, faulty relationship. Now, if you sponsor somebody's education for the purpose of marrying that person, if you sponsor somebody's university education, I'm telling you, that is charity. If there is no agreement between the two of you that because you are both in love, I love you and I want you to be educated before saying I do, before making you my wife, or before you become my husband, if there's no solid agreement or solid discussion to that, if both of you did not sit down to talk about that, but if you just meet and you just feel that in your heart, it is in your heart that you know that you love this man, in your heart you know that you love this lady and you want to marry him or her, but you have not expressed that to that person, and you went ahead and be sponsoring that person's education, it is just charity. It is called help. So, but the most you must separate it from marital commitments and when you are doing charity. Some people will say there's nothing bad if I love a man who I have prayed and God said it is his will for me. If you have prayed and God said that man is his will for you, and you have the means to sponsor his education because you want his educational level you want to help him, you want to help your marriage. Let me not say him now. You want to help your relationship, your marriage. And as a result of that, you will need that in the future. And as a result of that, you have to upgrade your wife. Like for people who will become pastors in the future, for some people who will find, for some men or some ladies who will find themselves in some career in the future, there may be need for them to upgrade educationally who God has chosen for them. You know, that one is different from when you are doing a charity. Now there's a marital commitment between two of you because you have both prayed and God has given both of you the conviction that you are meant for each other. You are meant to go ahead in that relationship. It will lead to marriage, you know, this and that. Now, in the process of when God has given you an answer, you can now start planning your future with that person. And one of it is when you see that even though as at the time I pray and God said I should go ahead, she's not educated, but I want her to go back to school, and you have the means. Maybe she ought to have done that in her parents' house, but because there was no means, or maybe as a single person, there was no means for her to educate herself. But you that you have now been chosen to be a life partner, you want her to further, and you have the means, you can do that. For you to do that, there must have been marital commitment. Both of you must have sat down to discuss this, that I want you to go back to school. Some will say before we get married, I want you to at least have your ND, or some will say after our marriage, I want you to go back to school, I want you to be educated. These are marital commitment, marital agreement that must be reached before you go ahead, compared to when you are just doing it. So don't tie your marital relationship to that if you have not had any previous discussion with her. Please don't get me wrong. People who have succeeded with such arrangements, because I knew I once spoke with someone and somebody said that yes, it works. I'm not saying that it doesn't work, but I said based on comments that we've gotten from people who are having this kind of relationship issues, there is always problem at the end of the day, because one party will say he did not tell me that he's going to marry me. He was just being helpful to me. We did not have any marital commitment that he's going to marry me by sending me to school. So there must be marital commitment. You must have talked about it. The girl must be in the know-how. The man must be in the know-how. It should not be in your heart. You don't have it in your heart that after school I will propose to her. Let her know from the onset that, okay, this is it, and this is how we want to go about it. So, but such people will only get married for love. So now, a marital relationship that is built on the dictates of one of the parties, or one of the parties' parents. Maybe it is one of you are both in a relationship, but it is one party's parent, one partner's parent that is dictating what is going to happen in that relationship. That is a faulty foundation. Like maybe it's the man, it's the man's parents, the mother that keeps telling the man what he should tell the wife to be, how they should live their life, that's an example of a wrong and faulty foundation for your relationship and for your marriage in the future. You, a man that wants to get married, that's why we said marriage is not for boys, it's for a man. It's for a matured man. Now that you want to get married, it shows that you are matured enough to be married, and that's why it is taking that you are matured enough to be married, and that's why you are going into marriage. You are not going into marriage because you just want to get married or because you see a lady. But if you are getting married because your parents want you to get married and they were the one dictating what you are supposed to do, that is a wrong and faulty foundation for your relationship and for your marriage. Marriage is for adults and not for babies. So if a potential husband, it is your parents that is dictating what you do in your relationship, like I said, it is not good. If I have had people wrote to tell me, to ask me this question, that it is my mother-in-law to be who is dictating to my husband to be what job I should do. I have a career that I've been pursuing before I met the son, and now the mother is saying that the son should tell me to drop my career. No, that's a wrong and faulty foundation. Your mother should not be telling you what will happen in your marriage. You should be man enough to sit your woman down and talk to her if you are not okay with the kind of career. If you are okay with it, your mother should not be the one that will be. If you start on that route, it will continue like that in your marriage. She will be the one that will be dictating everything that you have to do in your marriage with your wife, with everything. That is a very wrong and faulty foundation. Now, another one is a marital relationship that is strictly based on class connection is a faulty one. Here, the partners are drawn together because of their family business. Some people will want to get their children married because the fathers are into the same family business, they are into the same political parties, they are into the same financial relationship. When a marital relationship is based on class connections, because we are rich, olowo nsore olowo, because we are the same APC, because we are the same, we go to the same church. If your relationship is going to be based on that is a very wrong and faulty foundation. Very wrong and faulty foundation. Many wealthy families, there are so many wealthy families. We watch them on movies where you see the rich marrying their daughter to the rich fellow, and at the end of the day, the marriage always does what? It crashes, it collapses. So marriage should not be based on that. Like I will keep repeating on this program concerning this topic, that you should be man enough, you should be matured enough to hold your home, to take care of your home, to know what you want. You are not being forced into that relationship, you are not being forced into that marriage. So you should know what you want before getting into it. You should not be pushed about by your parents in your relationship or in your marriage. That is not good and that is not right. So if your marital relationship is strictly based on a class connection, is a wrong and faulty foundation for your relationship and for your marriage. I tell you, it may not work. I don't want to say it will not work. It may not work because we have exceptional cases. So I will say it may not work. That is not a very good one. The parties will be groomed. They will be grooming their children. This one will be grooming his daughter. The other one will be grooming the son so that they can get married because they know that they are both married. They don't want them to go and marry somebody who is not as wealthy as they are. Is that how God asks us to choose partner in a relationship? No. So if that is your own, you are in a relationship right now, and that relationship is based on class connection because of your father's party, because your father is an high rank in the church and he wants you to marry somebody in the church who is wealthy. you are being connected, that is a very wrong and faulty foundation that it may not last. Because it is not, you have not the one that, you have not, it is not God who has chosen that you should marry that lady or that man. Somebody is now the one connecting both of you because of what they want to gain out of that marriage, not because they have your interest at hand. And that's what I'm trying to say, that it may not life. So the danger here is that you may get married and have a couple of children, but their lives will be fake life. They may keep up appearance for people who, do all things together, but it will be fake life. So now, another one is, if you had a child before you met your fiancé or fiancée, and you hide such information from him or her and go ahead to marry the person, your marriage has a wrong and faulty foundation. The person you marry must know who you truly are. So if in the course of your life, if in the course of the journey of your life, you had a child as a man or as a lady, you must let the person that you are in a relationship with know. If you did not tell him or her and you went ahead and married that man and married that lady without informing him or her, that is a wrong and faulty foundation. That marriage is built on lies and deception, and it will not last. Because the man will not trust you. The man will look at you as, how many lies do I have to uncover? So you have to consider that. Now, if you have a premarital relationship in which your partner does not care about your pocket size when making demands from you, he doesn't care about if you have money or not, he's just asking money from you, there's a faulty foundation. That is a faulty foundation, and you have to be very, very careful. If all what you want in your own relationship and who you are looking for is somebody who has money, remember that money has wings and can fly away. There can be a sack from his work of place. Business can face challenges tomorrow, depending on the economy at that time. So when any of this happen, you are sure that this is a faulty foundation. If you have to go into marriage because you are looking for somebody who has money, and that is the reason why you want to go into that marriage, but you should remember, you don't know what the future holds for that man or for that marriage. Somebody that is having a good job today may tomorrow after wedding becomes jobless. We have seen it happen, and it can happen. Now, another one that I want us to look at is a marriage without premarital courtship has a faulty foundation, like I said before. So if you are in a relationship and your relationship, you are thinking that you don't need courtship, what is the essence of having courtship? Courtship involves observation of each other's attitudes, likes and dislikes. So if you do not go through courtship before saying I do, before getting married, it's a faulty foundation. And for those of you that you are married, you must have been realizing that right now, that if I had known and I would have had a courtship with this person, or I would have courted her like for a year or so, at least for me to have time to get to know her or get to know him very well. I hear this from some singles. They will tell you that, oh, we just met and under a month. Yes, I've had people who say it doesn't matter. That it doesn't matter. The courtship time does not matter. Whether a month, whether a year, it does matter. Are you saying that you'll be going on the street and you can just meet somebody on the street and the person will tell you that I want to marry you, and the next thing he picks you up, just take you to registry and you go ahead and marry? Do you think that can work? I'm sure you will tell that person that are you sure you are all right? I don't even know you from Adam. How can you just pick me on the street and say you want to get married to me, and the next thing we find ourselves in a registry? No, there must have been premarital preparation So if that is not done, then there shouldn't be any marriage. So for those of you that you don't believe in courtship, that you say it's not how long, yes, it's not how long, but even the little time that you want to do it well and do it properly. Ask questions and get to know the person. I want to go on this short break. When I come back, the program continues. Please don't go anywhere, and I will be right back. Welcome back. The program is still Before You Say I Do on Glorious Vision Television. My name is still Tope Oginni. And if you are just tuning in, the topic is wrong or faulty foundation in a relationship. We are trying to look at the effect of wrong and faulty foundation in a relationship that will transcend into marriage. I said if the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? I said foundation is very important in every aspect of our life. Even if you have to build a house, the foundation of that building is very, very important. It will determine how long it will last. It will determine its durability. It will determine how well it will stand the test of time. And that's why you see that most builders, they will always be very, 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 very particular about the foundation of every building. They can spend a whole lot in making sure that the foundation of that building is very, very strong. It's very, very strong and very solid, so that it can take as many story buildings as you can think of. So if the foundation is not strong enough, if you put any other building on it, then be expecting that there will be problem in the future. Those are the kind of buildings that we see these days collapsing, killing people, destroying life, destroying properties. So let's apply the same things to our marriages of today. There are a lot of people in marriages that are crying today as a result of faulty foundation that they laid for their marriages while in a relationship, ignorantly, unconsciously. Many of them did not know that it really matters. So that's what we are trying to look for. Those of you that you have not said I do yet, for you to take cognizance of this faulty and wrong relationships that many singles out there are building for their marriages in the future, and they don't even know that it matters. You know, like I said some people don't believe in courtship, and it's very, very important that you don't joke with courtship. Courtship gives you the opportunity to get to know each other, to ask questions about each other, so that you will be that's when you know. At that point is when you know whether you should go ahead in that relationship or you should pause, whether you should allow it to extend to marriage or not. But when you now feel that it does not matter, that's building a faulty foundation that you will later regret, or it will hold a legal ground for you in your future marriage. So in order for that not to happen, that's why today I want us to talk about it. Now, and I go ahead, I said, another one that I want us to look for, those of you that you believe in living together before marriage, is a wrong and faulty foundation. That's not what the Bible says. Even though some people believe that the Bible did not talk about cohabitation in the Bible, but the Bible talks about fornication. So if you must fornicate, how do? You must have to be in a place. And we've seen people, if you are not yet married, if you have not said I do, and you are living together, what will you be doing together as two romantic lovers who already have interest, who already have emotional feelings for each other? Definitely, you cannot be looking at each other when you start living together. So that is very, very wrong. That's many singles out there are on this table. Many are in school and are living as couple. Many are in school now. They call them couple of the year, couple of the this and all of that. They are not married though. They are students, so but they are living together as husband and wife. The student lady is already playing the wifey roles for that man. The man too is already, and at the end of the day, maybe after school, some of them, they will not even end up together as husband and wife. maybe they are just using themselves just for the sake of their students together. That's even by the way. But the truth of the matter is that is another wrong and faulty foundation that you are building for your marriage, and you need to watch it. Another one is that when you get pregnant for a man before marriage, you are already building a faulty foundation, because the Bible says, if the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? That is not the will of God for every marriage. The will of God for you is to have sex within your marriage. So if you are doing it outside your marriage, that's a faulty foundation that you are building. Even now, to the extent of now getting pregnant before marriage, having unwanted pregnancy before marriage, is building a faulty foundation for your marriage. Now, another one that I want us to look at, we are trying to look at the way singles out there build faulty and wrong foundation for their marriages ignorantly, unconsciously, and they don't even know. So I want to open your eyes to some of them so that you will know. Probably you are in one or more of these things. You will know how to quickly correct them so that you will not have problems in the future. Now, another one that I want us to look at is, if you're married to, if you are in a relationship that involved a blood covenant in which you cut yourselves and drink each other's blood, your relationship needs deliverance. I must tell you. So if right now you are in a relationship that involved a blood covenant in which both of you cut yourself and drink each other's blood, people do it just because I don't want you to leave me. I want to earn your trust. I want to know that I will be the one for you forever and ever, so that you will not look at any other man's face, look at any other lady's face. You get what I'm saying? Good. So as a result of that, some people will say, let us go into blood oath or blood, what they call blood covenant. So if you are out there and you are in this kind of relationship, this is a signal to a wrong and faulty foundation for your future marriage. And I must tell you that your relationship needs deliverance. You must make sure that you break that blood covenant, blood oath before you say I do. It is very, very important, because I'm telling you, if you don't do that now, it is going to hold an legal ground against your marriage in the future. So if you are in it, I repeat myself, as many singles that are doing this out there, I don't believe there are Christians who are doing that, but probably maybe because you are falling so much in love, you just got carried away. You don't have belief in yourself, or you don't believe in God anymore, to the extent that it is God that has given him to, except if you are with that guy, with that man or that lady for the wrong reasons. That's why you have to go into blood covenant and blood oath. I don't believe in all of that. So if it is the one that God has chosen for you, God will keep him or her for you till death do either of you part. That's it. If it is the will of God for you, that's what I'm saying. So we are looking at some examples of wrong and faulty foundation. So this is one of them. So if you are single, you are there. I repeat myself. Now, another one that I want us to look at again is, if your marriage, if you are in a relationship, like I said, you may be engaged, you may be in your courtship stage. We have some people that will do mini introduction. And how they do that mini introduction is for especially for those who are in a long distance relationship. Long distance is not that kind of long distance that whereby your partner is within Nigeria, you are both within Nigeria. I'm talking about those long distance where you are in Nigeria and the other partner is abroad. It could be in US, Canada, and all other continents. Now, the man could not come down to Nigeria. What they do is that they will now take the picture of that man. They will put it on the chair representing that man. That is a faulty foundation. No image should represent you. For those of you that you have involved yourself in this kind of marriage, that you are married, that you may be watching me right now, go and look into your marriage. What is actually happening now? If you are involved in that kind of marriage, your own marriage was consulted like that, that is not, was conducted like that. So if you are in a relationship that is conducted in your absence, or if you are in a relationship right now and your partner is abroad, is in obodo oyinbo, like the Igbos will say, right now as I'm talking to you, and you are planning to get married, but he or she could not come down to Nigeria, it is your family members that will go on your behalf and conduct the marriage and pay the bride price, dowry, on your behalf. You will not be, you will be absent. They will be doing all of these things in absentia. You are not there. This is a wrong and faulty foundation for your marriage in the future, because marriage is meant for you to be with them. You are supposed to be there. You are supposed to see what they are going to do. You are supposed to see, you are supposed to meet with your family members to see everything that will happen on that day. So, and in some cases, some demonic sacrifices will even be made because we are not there. So you need to be very, very careful. That could be made on your behalf. In this case, you need to ask questions, and the blood of Jesus that speaketh better things than blood of Abel has capacity to break and nullify. So now, for a single who is out there that is watching me, you are in a relationship, but your partner is outside Nigeria, and you are planning to get married, but he has told you or she has told you that he or she could not make it to Nigeria for that wedding. What they normally do is they will take the picture of that man or that lady, they place it on the chair. I've seen it before. They place it on the chair. That is wrong and faulty foundation. Nobody that is watching me right now should allow that to happen to his or her own marriage. Please, I beg you in the name of God. Whatever it will take you, pray to God. Once it is the will of God, that opportunity to come to Nigeria will be there. Because it is the will of God, and God wants both of you to be together, to be joined together, to make that covenant together. God will not leave you here and allow your partner to be there, all in the name of marriage. God does not separate marriages. God does not break marriages. He's the lover of marriage. So if you are in a relationship right now, I'm telling you, and that is your plan, because you believe that I've been waiting and waiting, and he said they cannot come. What we do is, he can be over there. His family should just come and know my family in absentia, when he's not there, when she's not present. No, that is not the will of God for every man. That is, you are building a faulty and wrong foundation for your relationship and for your future marriage. So don't involve in that. If you have really prayed, like you said, it is not a worldly relationship. If it is not a worldly relationship, like you know it's a Christian relationship that you have prayed, I'm telling you that you pray to God and God will make way for him or her. He will be present. We have seen it happen before. Yes. At that time, the person wrote for request for leave to go and have his wedding, and they gave it to him. So your own should not be, and don't buy into that lie that, oh, he's so busy. What if he says he's busy and he stayed there and they are doing all of this thing in absentia, and you don't even know if he's married over there, if he has been married to another man? That is a wrong relationship, wrong foundation for your relationship. So don't involve yourself in that. Now, another thing is that for those who are operating in worldly relationship, if satanic agents or spiritualists were consulted before decisions were made concerning your marriage, satanic agents and spiritualists have been consulted. You know, some of you, that when you want to say, you go to a herbalist, you want to know if she is the one, if he's the one for me, that is where you know. But I'm telling you, that is building a wrong and faulty foundation for your marriage. There's already a foundational problem. I am telling you, there's already a foundational problem for whoever you are out there, that the only place that you know how to go and find out is to take the name of your partner to an herbalist, or to take it to a shrine, or to take it to one demonic place or ungodly place to go and make inquiries about him or her. You are already building a foundational wahala problem for your future marriage. That is wrong. If you are in that habit, please stop it. Come to God. Come and talk to God concerning your marriage. God established the institution of marriage, and is the only one who can make it work. So it's better for you to seek his counsel concerning your relationship or concerning your future marriage. Not any demon that in the future will start affecting your marriage, start affecting your relationship, affecting your marriage, affecting your partner, and you wouldn't know where that is coming from. Please desist from that and come back to God. That is another example of a faulty and wrong relationship building for your marriage, for your future marriage. So if your marriage got contracted based on demonic prophecy, or you were brought together by a false prophet, you know there are so many false prophets too. People will go to the man because he likes you. Because the man likes you, and he knows that if he talks to you that you may not accept his proposal. He or she may decide to go to a false prophet that should come and talk to him or her. These are the things that we watch in Hollywood movies, but they are happening. They are realities that are happening in some marriages and in some relationships. So because he knows that if he proposes to you, not accept his proposal, he might decide to go to one false prophet and say, please go and see a vision to her that I am the one for him, I am the one for her. You are building a faulty foundation for your future marriage because she did not like you. He did not like you. He did not love you. You are the one that you are trying to force yourself on him or her, and that is an example of building faulty foundation for your future marriage that will have negative effects in that marriage. By the time you people start fighting, by the time you people start quarreling, by the time things that you're supposed to do biblically, issues that you're supposed to settle biblically or godly and all of that, because the foundation is demonic, there's no how you can do it. So if you are in it right now, or you are a man, that's what you are doing because you love that girl, you have decided to seek demonic assistance, false prophet assistance to get her married, or you are a lady, that is what you are doing because you like that man, is wealthy and is not giving you face. You are only building a faulty foundation for your future marriage, and it's not going to last. It's not going to last, and you are not even going to enjoy it because by the time that thing goes over, the problem will start. So for you not to have that problem, or you go to an occultic seer, occultic man, occultic seer, that's where you go and find out, is he the one or is she the one? All those things that people of the world do, those of you that you are not in Christ that you do, you have to stop them and seek the counsel of God. God is the owner of marriage, and is the only one that you should seek his assistance whenever you need one, and he will never disappoint you. He will always be there for you. Now, another one is that if you are in a relationship right now as a result of parental pressure or any form of pressure from anywhere, there is absence of love. You know that it's because your parents are pressurizing you, your friends are pressurizing you, the society, the community are pressurizing you to go and get married. And because of that, because you are just tired of all these pressures around you, and just because you have to keep all these people, you have to keep their mouth shut. You just met a man or a woman and you decided to just go, whether I love him or you know that there's absence of love in that relationship. Are you there watching me right now and you are in a relationship that there's absence of love? You know it that you don't love that man. You know it that you don't love that lady. But because your parents are pressurizing you, or because you feel that you are of age already and there's no more time on your side, there's no more time on your side, you are getting old, you know, you are looking at yourself that you are getting beyond the giving birth age. And because of that, any man, any woman that comes, I will just manage him or her, let me just go ahead. You know, that is another example of building faulty and wrong foundation for your future marriage, and you have to watch it. If you know you don't love him and you don't love her, please come out of that marriage. Come out of it. I'm not saying that love cannot be grow. If you know that you can still give that relationship time to grow in love, no problem. But once you know that there is no love, I don't love this person, the sight of him, the sight of her detests me, what are you doing there? Why should you pretend? Because you don't want your mother, you don't want your parents to talk, you don't want the society to say what is happening, the questions they ask you, you are tired. Watch it before it is too late. That is building. So there's a foundational problem with that. So it is by divine intervention that love can be developed. So then another one is, if your relationship is gotten by fraud. For instance, how do I mean it? If you knew deliberately you failed to inform him or her that you were impotent, that you know that your womb has been removed. You know, there are some people that not even as a result of abortion alone that wombs are being removed now. There are some people that they have some health challenge. I know a lady who has a very grievous health challenge, and they have no choice than to remove her womb. She's in a relationship right now, and as we speak, she told me that she has informed the man. You can look at that kind of love. And he said, I asked her, she said, yes, mommy, I have informed him. And he said, there's no problem. There's no problem. I don't know how they are going to solve that problem between them. I'm sure they must have talked about it, which I may not be able to tell you now. They must have talked about it. But she told the man she had problems. She had fibroid. And because the fibroid was too big, they had no choice in order to save her life. They have to remove the womb with the fibroid. That was how this particular lady lost her own womb, not because of damaged womb as a result of abortion, no. But be that as it may, when she got into relationship, she has been running away from relationships. People do come to talk to her, but because of that problem, she says she's not giving any man any chance because she's not ready to open up to any man that will know about her challenge or her secret and will use it against her. That's why she has not given any man any chance in her life. But when she prayed, I told her to pray to God, that I know that my God is good and my God is merciful. Just pray. Just continue to pray. And which she did. She prayed to God. She prayed to God. And that was how this man came. And the man even told her that it was God that asked her. The moment the man said it was God, she said she knew it was God. And that's how they started the relationship. So if you are in a relationship by fraud, like I said, you know that you are impotent. You know, when I say impotent, you know what that means. You know that you are a lady, you don't even have a womb, and you are deceiving that man to marry him. You know that you are a man too, you cannot get a woman pregnant, and you are deceiving that lady into that relationship to the extent that it's gotten to the stage of marriage. That is another example of faulty foundation for your marriage in the future. Because know how, when both of you get married, when the problems start coming, you begin to, you know that some things that you cannot hide for long, like when a man is impotent, like when a woman does not have womb. By the time you go for scan will show that this one does not have womb, and your partner will begin, your husband by then will start asking questions. What happened to your womb? I was not the one that removed your womb. What happened? That's when you begin to now say, this is what happened before I got married to you. I had this problem and they have to remove my... No, that is a faulty foundation for your future marriage. It's better you let him know. If it's your man, he will stand by you. If she's your wife, she will tell you that we will find solution to this problem. Even at that, I still love you with it. Let us go ahead in this marriage. That is what you will hear. So that's another example of marital challenge. Now, another one that I want us to look at is that, now, I know of a friend who held a wedding and didn't even invite a lot of people into that wedding. And I asked her, I know she's a lady who has so many friends. So I was surprised when I got to the wedding and she didn't invite some of our other friends. And I was like, what happened? And she said she wants to do a low-key wedding, that they don't have all the resources to bring everybody to the wedding. And the more she keeps postponing, the more the time keeps going for her. And she doesn't want the man to see her as an unserious person and leave her to another person. They had a low queue. And the wedding was great. And it was strictly by invitation. I'm telling you that it was a low-key wedding. It was well attended by the few friends that she invited and the families. But it was great and very, very okay. Very beautiful with the little few friends that were in attendance. So now, one of the bad foundations that you can lay for your marriage is to hold your wedding in debt. Gbese. Many people do that. I know people who are married today, they are still paying debts of wedding. Borrow, they borrow money all over, borrow from friends, borrow from bank, borrow from this, borrow from that. They are not enjoying their marriage now because all the money they are making now, they are using it to offset the debts. So another bad foundation that you can incur for your future marriage is for you to be thinking that, oh, when the man say he does not have money and you say we can borrow money from the bank now, I can help you to borrow money. When we borrow money after the wedding, we'll pay the money now. We'll pay the money now. It's a wrong foundation and a very faulty one that you are building for your future marriage. So if you are a lady that you have that kind of mentality, please stop that. If you are a man, because the lady is forcing you that if we don't do it this year, I won't marry you again, you, I will go for another man, you better go and look for money. And because of the pressure is too much on you, you have to go borrowing because you want to do a wedding. On top of what? No. Do you want to marry and after marriage, just about a month, 2 months, you start fighting about there's no food in the house? We have seen that too. Just a month, 2 months after wedding, couples have started fighting, no food in the house because they have used all the money to do wedding, 1 day wedding or 2 days, maybe Friday and Saturday or only Saturday. They have used all the money to do wedding. Now there's no food in the house. The wife has started shouting, "Am I not going to eat? Did you bring me from your parents' house to come and make me hungry in your house?" Fight has started. In order for that not to happen to you, please, I beg you in the name of God, don't ever build such foundation for your future marriage. The Lord will help you in Jesus' name. And I pray that every faulty foundation, wrong foundation that your relationship is right now, the Lord will deliver you in the name of Jesus. You will not take that into your marriage by the power in the mighty name of Jesus. God will show mercy to your relationship. God will show mercy to your future marriage. And God will deliver. God will give you deliverance in that relationship in the name of Jesus. Thank you so much for watching today's episode of Before You Say I Do. And I believe that you have been really blessed and you have enjoyed today's episode. If you have any question on this or on previous episode, please don't hesitate. Feel free to send it on that WhatsApp number that is scrolling on your screen. And you can also watch a repeat broadcast of this edition on Saturday at 1 p.m. and also on our Facebook page. Thank you so much. Let's quickly go to our recommended book. Our recommended book for today's episode is Faulty Foundations, Unseen Problems. Yes, they are unseen problems, but they are always there. So for you to see them, go and get a copy of this book, Faulty Foundations, written by Onyechi Daniel. Get it and read it for your further consumption, for your further understanding on this topic. Thank you, Production Crew, for making today's episode of Before You Say I Do a success. Thank you, our viewers, for watching, and thank you, our new viewers, for joining us on today's episode of Before You Say I Do. Until I come your way again on another exciting episode of Before You Say I Do, I remain your host, Tope Oginni. Don't forget that on Before You Say I Do, we help you to take the right decision before saying I do. And bye for now.
'Cause I've never been so sure of anything before, just like I'm in this moment. But was alone would be enough. Just take my hands and take my ring, 'cause I will always love you through anything I'll do. To back on the first segment, for the engaging about marriage. Tope Oginni, let's talk about love. Let's talk about God.